And we're going to have Bob Gomez warm us up with a few songs. So Bob, the Watsonville Poet Laureate and former PVUSD. So Bob, thank you for coming.
I got my friend Woody here, holding the lyrics for me. This is a song I wrote for a project called Tierra y Justicia. Right, we just had our grand finale on May 10th, Mexican Mother's Day. Tengo mucha fuerza en la voz, pero tengo la fuerza en la voz porque estoy con ustedes. I have power in my voice because I am with people who have power in their voices. In unity is our power. I'm going to sing a little song called Tierra y Justicia. I wrote it for the project that just finished up on May 10th, and I want to dedicate it to all of you, but especially to Ann Lopez, who's here. Dr. Ann. Yes, and the chorus goes, por nuestra tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y sus familias, por esta tierra que es tuya y mía, hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. Por esta tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y sus familias, por esta tierra que es tuya y mía, hay que cuidarla con urgencia y con amor. El asalto a nuestro ambiente, causando inundaciones, calor insoportable, causando extinciones, y quien está sufriendo de los mayores daños, y quien va a sufrir más. And then he has to scroll up on the screen. Cada año más, cada año. Por nuestra tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y sus familias, por nuestra tierra que es tuya y mía, hay que cuidarla con urgencia y con amor. Con el aire más caliente, el mar sigue subiendo, y billones de gentes van a estar sufriendo, corriendo a refugiarse donde, en los cerros y los altos, dejando sus hogares inundadas abajo. Por nuestra tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y su familia, por nuestra tierra que es tuya y mía, hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. Now we get to the pesticide part of the song. Here we go. It starts, malditas pesticidas. Malditas pesticidas que vamos sprayando, envenenando vidas y a nadie informando. Necesito trabajar, si la renta que hay que pagar, pa' mañana dice el amo, a ver si te hablo ya. Malditas pesticidas que vamos sprayando, envenenando vidas y a nadie informando. Necesito trabajar, si la renta hay que pagar, pa' mañana dice el amo, a ver si te hablo ya. Por nuestra tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y su familia, por nuestra tierra que es tuya y mía, hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. Hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. Okay, last part. La unión es la fuerza. Our unity is our strength, is our power. La unión nos da la fuerza para resolver problemas, acciones colectivas de agencias y escuelas. Gobiernos responsables son nuestro voz y voto para salvar la tierra. Hay que cantar en coro. Por nuestra tierra pido justicia, por cada hombre y mujer y su familia, por nuestra tierra que es tuya y mía. Hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. Hay que cuidarla con urgencia, con amor. You know, I worked here at MacQuiddy School right over there for 8 years. My friend Jennifer over here, she worked here for what, 34 years?
34.
She's got a list of the people who suffered cancer, some of whom passed away, some of whom who survived. Friends who passed, administrators, teachers, aides. We don't have a count of the children or the parents or the relatives, right? This school had 700 students at one point. So since the district doesn't keep records on such a thing, we have to rely on people like Jennifer, who has the experience of working at a school like this, which is adjacent to fields. But I just wanted to reference that I was here when people that I worked with, friends that I cared about, passed and suffered dangerous cancers, brain tumors, multiple cancers more than once. Our friend Debbie, the aide, she worked here for, what, 30 years too? She did, easily. Got cancer twice. So, I mean, come on. We got to do something about what's getting sprayed over here, feet away from where children are playing, right up against the fence. You want to get started, Adam?
I think we can get started.
Get started, man.
Bob Gomez.
My friend Adam. Can I have my phone back?
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming, everybody, for being here. My name is Adam Bolaños-Scow. I am a co-founder of the Campaign for Organic and Regenerative Agriculture, CORA for a start. There was about at least a dozen of us who came together a few years ago because this problem is not new. You've been experiencing pesticides in the Pajaro Valley for dozens and dozens of years. And we have some success stories, but we have ongoing problems. And so it's estimated that about 20% of the valley is organically farmed already. In fact, the organic standard, as a USDA standard, was largely developed here in this county thanks to farmers and researchers at the University of California, Santa Cruz. And so we know with that legacy we can build on that and make this valley a safer and healthier place for everybody. The vision, the dream, is that this entire valley go organic someday. But in the short term, we've come together and said it's time to start by our schools, by our neighborhoods where people live, work, play, breathe. And that's why we're here at MacQuiddy Elementary, right behind this great school. About a year and a half ago or so, we were here to issue the first demand to Driscoll's and other companies that they begin this transition. And thanks to you and to our local press for good coverage. In fact, it was the CEO, Miles Ryder, who said he was open to the idea and even actually met with a delegation of CORA and said someday, no timeline was given. He said this field would go a little more organic, which it looks like it has. According to the reports, this side of MacQuiddy is organic towards East Lake, and everything on this side is not, where some toxic chemicals are being used, and we'll have our speakers talk about that. So today we are releasing a map, an infographic map on the Center for Farm Worker Family website. That URL is farmworkerfamily.org/CORA. We'll put that out in the press release, where we are specifically showing fields around 13 of our schools in the Pajaro Valley. 13 schools where they have toxic pesticides being used on specific fields that are provided us through the county and the state data requirements. So we're asking that those fields be transitioned to organic as soon as possible. It's not a new request, but it's now much more of a specific request. And so everybody can see exactly what we're talking about on the website and on the infographic. I want to introduce our speakers. We have a great lineup. Last year, we were very humbled and excited that the Watsonville City Council agreed that there was a problem, and they unanimously passed a resolution stating support that all farmland within a 1-mile boundary of the city's urban limit line should be farmed organically that happened last year, and we're actually standing right on the city's urban limit line right now. That's where we're standing. This is Watsonville, and this is unincorporated Santa Cruz County. So we're very excited that our mayor of Watsonville is here today to join us and support us and celebrate this effort. So please welcome the mayor of Watsonville, Ms. Vanessa Quiroz Carter.
Thank you everyone for being here for this important cause. I want to thank CORA for all their hard work, Safe Ag, Safe Schools, Dr. Ann, all the people who are working to make us a healthier community. Thank you so much. I'm here really to welcome you and to, as you heard, just to reiterate that there is support from the city in efforts to make the move to organic to stop cancer-causing pesticides. We unanimously voted and passed a resolution. Our resolution states that the city of Watsonville supports and encourages the transition of agricultural fields within a 1 mile distance from the city's urban limit line to be farmed organically and regeneratively, and that the city of Watsonville will work with local, regional, and private organizations to realize this transition. And I'm here to be part of that work. When I drive by the fields, when I drive out, by the fields, I'm going here, going there, I can smell that acrid smell, that really bitter, acrid smell with all the windows up in my car, and it hurts my lungs. It's hard to breathe with that. And that's what our kids are being exposed to. That's what the workers are being exposed to. And that's just simply unacceptable to be constantly exposed to that kind of toxicity. Our community really deserves to be healthy. We deserve a healthy working and learning environment and living conditions. We deserve that. We have people that feed the entire country here working so hard, and they deserve safe working conditions. I want to talk directly to the companies, to Driscoll's and all the rest of the companies who are hesitant to go organic. If you're not going to go organic just because it's the right thing to do it for profit. People are now more health and socially conscious than ever, and consumers want organic. We are here, we are consumers, we're telling you that we want organic, and that's what we will support. So make sure to vote with your dollars, and please make the switch. Please ditch the pesticides and go organic. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Vanessa Quiroz Carter. Give it up one more time. The city unanimously supporting this is very exciting. Our next speaker is a doctor, a public official in the area, also a board member with the Center for Farm Worker Families. Please welcome Dr. Catherine Gabriel Cox.
Thank you so much for gathering today for this most important topic. My name is Katie Gabriel Cox. I'm both an OBGYN in our community and also a parent. And I'd like to start by talking about what we do know. First of all, we know that children are more susceptible to toxins in the environment because they are rapidly growing and developing. Children drink more water, breathe more air, eat more food, eat more dust, and they also absorb more chemicals through their skin than adults. A child's body is less able to get rid of toxic chemicals than adults. And we know that pesticides and herbicides have been linked to risks of miscarriage, low birth weight babies, cancer, and attention problems in school-age children. We also know that 20 to 25% of the Pajaro Valley is already organic. So conversion to organic farming in areas around schools and homes is possible and is happening on half of our land here, and we need it to happen everywhere. Next, I want to share what I observe in my everyday life. Several of my patients have returned after healthy and uncomplicated pregnancies to share that their children have been diagnosed with leukemia and other forms of cancer. Each one of these patients has asked me, is it due to the pesticides? I will say that I did not experience this when I was working in other areas of the county and the state. Local cancer support organizations are filled with our local families, and all are asking the same question. Why are there more children from the Pajaro and Salinas valleys with these diagnoses? Thank you so much for all coming together. I will do anything for the sake of the health of our children, of our community, and our families. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cox. I want to invite the executive director, founder, a longtime leader in this movement, and to introduce us to some affected families as well. I'll let Dr. Ann Lopez do that. Please welcome Dr. Ann Lopez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to this important cause. I just don't know that there's any cause in the Watsonville area that's more important. I mean, 1 million pounds of pesticide a year dumped in the Watsonville area? I mean, really? So 1 million pounds of toxic pesticides dumped on this community every year. And the number of families that I have personally met with children with cancers, learning disabilities, autism, ADHD, I mean, the children is disgraceful. Why is this even allowed? I mean, if a sudden epidemic of COVID was killing children or they were getting afflicted, don't you think there'd be a response? Where are people? What's the matter with this scenario? It just mystifies me. I mean, this is like an epidemic. So I have brought here 2 of my very favorite farm workers who supply our crops all over the nation and the world, and they're going to talk to you about their experience with their children's health and pesticides. If you could not take pictures of this person here, please refrain from photographing for obvious reasons.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Tranquilina y yo trabajo en el campo, yo trabajo en la fresa.
Good afternoon. My name is Tranquilina and I work in the fields picking strawberries.
Ajá, y yo estaba trabajando durante el embarazo y tengo un niño que es autismo.
I was working in the fields when I was pregnant with my son and he has autism.
Y para nosotros es difícil porque para estar llevando los niños de donde como a mi niño le van a empezar a dar terapia y sí un poco difícil porque como ahorita no vamos a poder trabajar mucho con él. Tengo 2 niños y el otro casi no habla nada.
So, entonces Israel no habla?
No, otro.
Oh, otro.
Sí.
So she has another affected son who hardly ever talks, hardly ever speaks.
Y yo pienso que es por la pesticida, como andamos trabajando en la fresa y ellos sprayan durante cuando estamos trabajando están sprayando y yo pienso que por eso.
So she's saying that they were spraying when she was working in the field, which, by the way, as far as I know, is illegal. And she thinks that her 2 afflicted sons are the result of being exposed to these pesticides when she was working in the field.
Muchas gracias.
Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Ernestina Solorio.
I'm Ernestina Soloria.
Yo soy una persona que llegó de Michoacán, México.
I came from Michoacán, Mexico.
Llegué aquí en 1993.
I came in 1993.
Soy madre de 4 hijos.
I'm a mother of 4 children.
Mi hijo, el más grande, tiene 27 años.
My oldest son is 27 years old.
Mi hija que sigue tiene 22 años.
And my daughter is 22.
Y sigue otro hijo que tiene 17 años.
And I have another son who is
17.
Oh, 17.
Sí, y tengo otro de 12 años.
And another one that's 12 years old.
Desde que yo llegué he estado trabajando los files, en la agricultura, en la pizca de la fresa.
Since I came here, I've been working picking strawberries.
De mis dos hijos más grandes no tuve problemas.
So my two oldest sons or children never had problems with their health.
Y de mis dos niños, el de 17 y 12 años, he tenido muchos problemas con ellos.
And of my two youngest sons that are 17 and 12, I've had a lot of problems.
Por el hecho de que tienen el problema de... ¿cómo se dice?
ADHD.
Sí.
Yeah. For the reason that both of the youngest sons have ADHD.
Ellos han tenido problemas en el aprendizaje.
And they're having a terrible time learning disability.
Porque son imperativos.
And the ADHD makes them.
Entonces yo los tengo que llevar a consejería.
So she has to take them to counseling,
a terapias,
therapies,
y con el psicólogo.
And to a psychologist.
Yo le hice una pregunta al doctor, al psicólogo, que si eso podría ser, porque yo estuve expuesta a los pesticidas cuando estaba embarazada de ellos.
But I wasn't exposed to pesticides with the two oldest children, who are fine, but the two youngest children, I asked the doctor if it could be that because I was exposed to pesticides working in the field.
Porque yo miro una gran diferencia en mis dos niños más grandes a mis dos niños más pequeños.
Because I notice a big difference in the older children versus the youngest children.
Porque cuando yo estuve embarazada de mis dos primeros hijos no estaba trabajando yo en los files.
When I was pregnant with the two oldest children, I was not working in the fields at all.
Pero de mis dos niños más pequeños me vi la necesidad de trabajar. Entonces estaba yo embarazada y estaba trabajando.
With the two youngest sons that I have, I had to work out of necessity, and those are the ones that are afflicted.
Y pues hasta ahorita no he tenido una respuesta al comportamiento de la diferencia, ¿verdad? De los dos primeros a los dos últimos.
And she says she's never gotten a real scientific or medical interpretation for the great difference between her two oldest children and the two youngest.
Y como yo soy madre, he visto también otras madres campesinas también batallar con sus hijos, no solo de hiperactividad, también con sangre, con cáncer en la sangre, otras dificultades que tienen los niños.
And so as a campesina, I've seen other mothers talking about the same issues. Some of the mothers have children with blood cancers like leukemia or other problems that are unusual and take up basically. I mean, you could not imagine how much time this woman spends while she's working in the field, taking these two youngest kids to therapy, to doctors, to this, to that. I mean, it takes a huge amount of time, and I think this is a kind of an externality that's never really considered, especially for a single mother like Ernestina, who works so hard.
Sí, pues sí, como yo soy madre y padre para mis hijos, me la miro difícil al estar trabajando y también estar atendiendo sus necesidades de mis hijos.
So she says it's really hard, working hard to support her family and at the same time attending to the needs of these two younger children.
Y pues yo pienso que es todo parte de mi historia. Muchísimas gracias por escucharnos.
Thank you. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, a longtime supporter of the Pajaro Valley buying organic agriculture from Lakeside Organics, which was one of the great organic companies here in the Pajaro Valley. She is the owner of Charlie Hong Kong Restaurant in Santa Cruz. Please welcome Carolyn Rudolph.
what an honor to be able to speak. The privilege that I have every day to provide nourishment to my community is my spiritual practice, and I mean that. To provide nourishment. These are the people who work in the fields to provide our food. This is the most noble work. The most noble work. And we are treating them with such disrespect.
Totally.
They should be honored. Honored, identified, thanked. Thank you for providing the food that is on my table. Without you, I would be very hungry. We would all be hungry. I have the good fortune to serve every day 500 pounds of organic produce to my community. I go through my cooks. I have a restaurant because of my cooks, who are all Latino. Without them, there would be no food. 1 ton of chard a month. Thank you. And thank to Dick Pajot, who treats his field workers with incredible respect. And this is why we work with him. I live in a part of Santa Cruz that has no idea what is going on here. None. I live in the city. They are in la la land, how that food gets to them. The noble work done to provide nourishment. This is nourishment. Without it, we have no bodies. We can't thrive. And these children, they're going to be in charge. I'm almost on my way out. I'm an old lady, and I'm okay with that. I have this privilege to speak to all of you and let it be known that I am going to let everybody over there know what is going on here. You may say I am a dreamer, but I am not the only one.
Thank you, Carolyn. Give it up for Carolyn. So a point about a famous study by UC Berkeley, the Chamaco study, showing many health problems in pregnancy and children of farm workers. And learning disabilities is also, in addition to cancer, a big problem. And this school district, which I know a little bit about, Pajaro Valley Unified School District, the largest school district in the Monterey Bay, we're estimated to be about 18% of our children are on IEPs, which means they're classified as special education. That's a big challenge for our district. I want to welcome one of our district's employees. She's a librarian, longtime worker, and activist, part of CORA. Please give it up for Rita Molina.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to say a couple of words. I was born and raised right here in Watsonville on a farm that grew conventional strawberries. I drank the well water. I was there when the crop dusters would come and dust the fields. I could hear them in the morning. Thank God my mother, with her 4th grade education, had the sense to tell my dad, you need to go organic. And they finally did. They were able to raise us all, send us to private schools. We had a great life. Thank God nobody in my family, till this day, thank God, knock on wood, where's wood, has not had any health problems. But I worry. I worry because I work at a school where right across the street, just like here, there is strawberries being grown conventionally. And I worry because I do not see any posting of any kind that the district is supposed to post that says this field has been sprayed recently, so we would be warned, right? Parents could keep their kids home or whatever. It's just not happening, at least through the gate that I go through. I don't know about the gate where the children go through because I never go through that gate, but I can almost guarantee you I never see anything being emailed or said about it, and I'm sure they are spraying, and I'm sure that spray is drifting onto our campus. And I have worked with so many teachers as well who have died of cancer. They worked in the district for many years at different schools. They chose to serve the population that they wanted to serve, which was the Latino population, and they died for it because of these pesticides. So please, 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 Driscoll and anybody else who can hear me, go organic as soon as you can. If my parents, who had no education at all, pretty much, high school and like fourth grade education, were able to make that decision, you rich people who have an education, college, university, you guys can do it. So do it now.
Jennifer Kahn, former teacher here at MacQuiddy Elementary. Jennifer, please.
My name's Jennifer Kahn. I live right here in Watsonville, and I'm a retired kindergarten teacher. I taught for 38 years, but 34 years was here at MacQuiddy School. Luckily, my classroom was way at the front of the school, but in my later years, I joined SAS, which is Safe Ag, Safe Schools, and we advocated for getting Roundup banned in the district and in the city. So I've spoken to the school district and the city council, and we did a lot of good work there. And they do give notification, but the notification is horrible. It's a little 8.5 by 11 piece of paper on the front gate that the parents that pick up their kids, they don't go through that gate. They pick up their kids in the front. Now there's not even parking in the front. And it was, I think it was in English and Spanish, but it was all scientific terms. No one could really understand what it said. And they would notify when they were going to fumigate on the weekend. Well, one weekend, we got the fumigation notice, and it was the time we were having Saturday school. And it was the same weekend they were going to fumigate. And so I talked to the principal, and I talked to the Saturday school principal. So we might have to cancel Saturday school because they're going to be fumigating. Then I contacted Mark Weller from SAS, and he contacted the Ag Commissioner, and they postponed the fumigation when we didn't have Saturday school. But regardless of that, I worked many, many, many weekends here at school because even though they say teachers, don't only work get all kinds of vacation, only work the days that they're paid. That's not true, because I was here many weekends, and I was never here a weekend when there weren't children here. So I know darn good and well the weekends that they were fumigating, I knew not to go to school, but I know that there were kids here, even though I wasn't here, because even though we had all these fences and gates that I couldn't get in without a key, but the kids just scaled the fence. They're little kids. They had no problem. So I know that there were kids here playing while fumigations were happening. And plus there's the drift afterwards, and teachers and students, the ones that are in the portables right back here, would complain after applications that their throats hurt and their eyes were watering and they were coughing and they were miserable. And it was because of the pesticides. And also in all the years that I taught, I kept seeing more and more kids with asthma, more and more kids with ADHD. We had one little boy from our school that died of cancer. And I had one little girl one time with cancer. And we had several staff, and I don't know that the staff members got cancer because of the fields. Who knows? Cancer's every place, ubiquitous. But I just know that the fields are right here, and our kids are being exposed. And back in the day, they had DDT, and they had ads that say DDT is good for me. And then, but now we know different. And we know what the pesticides do, and like the late great Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better, and we do know better, so we need to do better. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. I also want to give a shout out, she couldn't make it, to Mireya Gomez Contreras and everybody with Esperanza Community Farms. We got some people here, Paco here, Sam, for supporting this effort and for growing organic food right by Pajaro Valley High School, where they now have a program to bring organic healthy salads to that school, and now I think they're expanding that program to Calabasas Elementary as well. So that's very, very exciting. So there's a lot of great things happening. Unfortunately, as we what we also need, as we're supporting good things, is an end to the problem. And so that decision rests with the Driscoll's leadership. Mr. Ryder is still executive chairman of the board, as we read in newspapers, though they have a new CEO, and we will be contacting them. We want to invite everybody to come to our website. We have a petition to the Driscoll's leadership, as most of the fields by the city and the schools are under their control. That is going to be farmworkerfamily.org/CORA. Please visit the website. Thank you all so much for coming. If anybody wants to say anything else, we can. If anybody, oh, terrific! We got an organic farmer. I'm so excited. Please welcome Sandra Ward from New Natives.
Absolutely, I've got something to say, and you all do. You all have your own stories. We want to hear them. So it's true. We are strength in numbers. We're courage in numbers, and we've got a story. So I'm going to tell you some of mine. My name's Sandra Ward. My husband is Ken Kimes.
He's over there.
Okay, so we started an organic farm 40 years ago, and it started because they were basically spraying the workers in the trees across from our farm during medfly. So we got so that did it, because I called the ag in and I showed them all the rainbows and the petals, and they said it's fine. And I said, no, it's not fine. It's not fine. So anyway, we've been farming organically for 40 years. Maybe a little bit more. I don't want to. 40 is good. It's a good number. And we've had the privilege, or it's a privilege. I mean, it's a different perspective that I wanted to give you, because knowing what can be done organically, it's the right way to do it. And then all these 40 years of watching all these chemicals come down, the very last time I saw it was on Highway 1, about 9 p.m. on Friday evening. So they're spraying really bad stuff, and they don't want anybody to know about it. So I've got a solution in my pocket, and I'm not getting down on my knees and begging these guys to stop making so much money on our lives. And I think the one thing that's not being said is, where's the accountability here? Where is it? Where's the accountability? When we started the organic farming, I mean, we've kind of like helped form the term, and we set up our own standards. That means our own rules that we would be abiding by. So a few years later, I'm going, why in the world did we make all these rules for ourselves? We're doing everything right. And these guys over here, they're doing everything wrong, and they're not accountable to anybody. What is wrong with this picture? Really? So what I know now, and what I want to tell you, is that there is so much research, and there's so much available for conventional farms, which I call destructive farming, to go organic right now. It's available. So the conventional farmers used to call us lazy hippies, because that's all right, I call them nozzle heads. because we recognize that all plants, there's a relationship between them. There is. Some like each other, some don't. I know that because I've been a grower, and I've got a relationship with the land. I've got a relationship with the plants. I've got a relationship with my customers. I am accountable. I see them every week. If they don't like what they get, they come back and they tell me. I'm totally accountable. So I think these guys need to be accountable. So there's one way we can do this. We can bring science into the formula, which means we need to be testing our air. We need to be testing our water. We need to be testing our soil. That's what we do as organic farmers. That's what we need to be doing for our kids. We need science behind this. Who says that 500 feet is okay to spray? Or 200 feet if you're doing by aerial? Where do these numbers come from? They're totally arbitrary. We need science. And I'm ready to call it in. You know, everybody says organic food is expensive. Let me tell you, organic food is the true cost of food. These other guys, they get money from the government. They get subsidized. They get money from their chemical companies, right? All right, so the real price of food is organic food. And the real health in food is organic food. This stuff is just polluting. We all breathe the same air. All of us. We all drink the same water. All of us. And it's all just this totally, what is it? It's poison. Let's face it. With this kind of scale, right? So let's talk about accountability. Who's paying? Okay, I don't mind being taxpayer. I don't mind helping to pay the medical bills. But who's getting? I'm also paying for them. So let's stop it. Let's just stop this. It's mad. It's crazy. Let's stop it. Yeah, that's my bill.
Thank you, Senator. There was a UCLA study that showed some of these pesticides drift 6 or 7 miles. So really, the whole town, as you can see from the map, there's some risk associated with that. I do want to point out, if you go to Green Valley and Houlihan, over here, where the ARCO AMPM is, on one side across from the gas station is a pesticide fumigated field. Across the street from that, behind Amesti Elementary, is an organic field that's rotated between Driscoll's and Lakeside Organics. So they know how to do it. They're a $2, $3, $4 billion company. They're already doing it. We want them to do more of it and in the right places. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Please visit. Please sign in. If you haven't, we want to get your contact information to stay in touch with you. We've got a sign-in sheet.